I was just looking at this point for myself of remembering as a child feeling like life was a chore. And I remember really specifically, I'll catch myself, or I've caught myself in the past, feeling like I didn't want to clean my room, for instance, right? And I remember as a child feeling that feeling, and it was a big deal to me because not only did I not want to clean my room, but it felt like once I started doing that, there were going to be all these other things that I had to do. I had to make the bed, and the bed had to be made properly. And then I had to uh, sweep around the corners of the room and, that entails. And it felt like it continued on and on and on. And what I realized for myself, what I noticed was the reason why that was such a big deal to me was because I had to go to school during the week. And so during the week, I felt like I didn't get to live my life or enjoy my life because I was steady doing this thing at school, this chore, right? And then it's the weekend. And usually on the weekend is when I would have to do all this cleaning. And I felt like I was forced to do this cleaning. And I felt like this was the one day where I was supposed to have a day for myself, where I could do whatever it is that I wanted to do. And I was not allowed to do anything that I wanted to do. I had to do all these other things to please others. I had to do what I was told to do for the entire day. And I remember resenting that and resenting having to do all these chores, resenting having to do like just these little things. But then I allowed that resentment to turn into a distaste or a hate for doing chores, for washing dishes, for cleaning my room, for like literally anything. Anything that could be perceived as something that is required to do that you don't necessarily want to do in that moment. I perceived it as I don't want to do that. And I felt like I was forced to do that. I felt like I was dragging my feet to do that. I felt like once I did that, there would be another thing that would come that I don't want to do, and that would be my life. And I would have to continue doing that over and over and over again. And what I realize now is that I essentially allowed myself to make all these movements a chore or hell, living hell, or something that I don't want to do. And don't get me wrong, this is the way that virtually every child is impulsed with, right? Every child that goes to school, they're impulsed with this on some level. Oh, now it's the weekend and you just want to play video games, but then you have to do homework, you have to do all these extra things, whatever, right? But then as an adult, then taking this on or these beliefs on for myself of, oh, work is a chore. I don't want to work. And I'm not saying going to work. I'm saying just the things that I have to do for myself. Looking at those things as a chore, I realized that's a subversion of life, a subversion of one of the greatest things in life. Because in life or in the living, we have the privilege of seeing something and physically moving it, which is not a privilege that non-living things have, right? Meaning I have the opportunity to pick up this glass and move it. And I have the opportunity to, oh, that's not supposed to be there. I can direct that. I can move that. I can change that. Oh, this is going on in my business or in life in general. I can direct those things. And then on the larger scale, this is what's happening in society. We have the opportunity to direct that. It's not a chore or it's not something that is to be despised or resented or hated in any way. The fact that there are these things that definitely need to be changed, these systemic things that really need to be changed, we have the opportunity to really enjoy the physical creation of changing those things, of getting together and coordinating and going, okay, collectively together, let's change this. We have the opportunity, we can move this, we can do it, and we can take pride in that because we can see ourselves actually physically manifesting something in real life, right? But if we are looking at it like, oh, that's just, oh, it's so big, it's such a chore, oh, that's going to take forever, oh, which is the same impulsing that we get as children, because that's the impulsing our parents got. And then when they were asking or telling you to do whatever chores you had, you weren't supported in a way to really take pride in your work. Or take pride in your work becomes this phrase of like, you didn't do that right. You got to do it over. That's not good enough, right? But if you were supported to see just how awesome it is to actually be able to move yourself and direct things, and you can change things, you have an effect, and you can take care of something, and you have a responsibility, and you are like a custodian of not just your workspace, but of your life, of this world, right? Then you are directing life itself, and you're able to direct, oh, here, and being supported to do that from a young age, and actually understanding why it's important to do this and what benefits you get out of it, as opposed to having just a reward. Oh, you did this, so you get this reward. That's just teaching a child to go along with this system the way that it is. That's just teaching them to do things for rewards and not because they can see that it's the best thing to do. And which means that that's how we get these politicians who are willing to just say whatever they need to say in order to get that check. And I'm not saying the check from their job. I'm saying the check from the lobbyists, from the corporate, from, whatever comes their way that says, hey, if you do this, when you step down from this position, you've got a position with me, and here's how much we pay. And guess what? You don't have to do anything. They're seeking that reward. And I'm not just blaming the politicians here. I'm saying we all do this. We're all teaching ourselves and teaching our children and teaching our future generations in our society to do things based on reward and not do things because it's best, not do things because it's going to benefit everybody, but doing things just because, hey, look, I get to hold on to this and nobody else will have this. It's really a self-interested and selfish point. But going back to, if we're supported from a young age to take pride in working, to take pride in our ability to move, take pride in our own movements, take pride in being able to direct something, and supported to see that cleaning or organizing or whatever it is that you're doing around the house at those ages, that, and I'm saying from the starting point of it's the best thing to do, it's actually benefiting you, not some BS like homework from school that has no purpose, right? But actually something that would support you. If you're supported to see how that is benefiting you, how that is supporting you, and how you can enjoy doing that, then when you have other things that you can see later on that are growing, when you see, oh, this is an opportunity for me to direct that to be what is best, it becomes not just easier, but it becomes something that you're more willing to do. And also consider this: if you're not willing to work in that way, anytime something comes up, it's like, oh, I don't want to do that. Oh my gosh, it would be so much easier. Somebody else would take care of that. Let me just avoid that for as long as possible. You're not wanting to jump into solving problems. Unlike those people who are very successful, they're really good at solving problems because they see those as opportunities of like, let me see if I can direct this. Let me see if I can put my hand in this and really move this to something I want it to be, to create something for myself, because they take pride in that. You hear all the time, when you're doing what you enjoy, it doesn't feel like work. For them, that doesn't feel like work. They've been supported so that they can just jump right in and go, I want to direct this. And they can enjoy the movements, or at least they can see the benefit that they're going to get and see that it's worth it for them to do those movements. And so, in the same way, if you're an adult now and you don't already feel that way, then as an adult, if you plan on having children, you have to walk through those feelings and emotions, as in facing those and changing them so that you can enjoy work, so that when you have children, you can support them to actually enjoy being here in life, so that they don't feel like, oh, life is a chore. Oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, I don't feel like doing anything, because that's not life. That's sitting on the sidelines. That's not actually being here. If you look at plants, you look at animals, they don't sit on the sidelines. They're always growing. They're always becoming. They're always doing. They're always living, right? But it's almost as if, like, if you take an animal and you just turn it into a piece of machinery, that's what we've done with our society. And so, of course, that is not what anybody wants or anybody enjoys. But if you let that animal run free, they're going to run, they're going to do all these crazy things. They're going to use all of their abilities to the best of their ability. And so it's time now for us to support ourselves to do that where we are right now, so that we can change this world for real, so that we can have enough people who come together and say, hey, you know what? That's a task that seemingly large, but we can direct that together. And how awesome will it be when it's directed to be something that's best for all of us?